Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the show. We've got another hidden gem to talk about today. Another film that has fallen under the radar, deserves a better love, so that's where I step in. Now, I will mention that this was produced by J.J. Abrams. I know there's a bit of hate for this dude. Love him or hate him, that should not impact your decision to check this film out. So, what is Overlord 2018? What is this about? Well, it's a World War II zombie horror action flick. Yeah, that is a weird combination. That really is a strange thing to be making. Straight off the bat, though, the opening scene of this film, I guess the opening 10 minutes or so, is balls out crazy. It glues you to the screen. And honestly, it ranks up there amongst the best sequences compared to other war films out there. It really does. It goes up a notch. It is intense, it's exhilarating, it's scary. But yeah, definitely, if you have to check this film out for the opening 10 minutes, you'll be happy. Now, the premise is simple enough. You've got a small group of American soldiers, paratroopers, I suppose. They drop behind enemy lines on D-Day to take out a German radio tower that it's located in a small French village. And by doing this, it'll give the Allies the upper hand in the war. Of course, the mission goes sideways, but they still need to get to the village. They still need to do that. It's a point A to B mission. Well, that's what it should be. However, everything that happens in between, I mean, there's some suspense about moving through, enemy lines. There's some high stakes drama in between, conflict between soldiers. It just drags you in. It gives the film a bit of complexity. Now, this is actually two films combined into one. You've got the zombie flick, and then you've got the very tense, gritty war film. And what I really liked, the latter. I liked the gritty, tense, brutal war film that this film was presenting over the zombie elements. Uh, Hey, that's just me. Someone might like it the other way around, but I personally enjoyed the war aspects of this film. As for the cast, you're not going to know many of the names. You'll recognize some of the faces. You might know a few names. Then they're not the big A-list celebrities. End of the day, it doesn't really matter. Here's the thing: you're given a shotgun intro to these characters, and they're all just stereotypes. You got the tough as nails leader, the funny guy, the jerk that's got a heart of gold. You get the drill, right? It's a throwback to the '80s ensemble films, like Predator, I suppose. We're just a couple of lines of dialogue, a few action scenes, and you get what this character's about. Now, for me, a couple of the big positives, sorry, are the action set pieces and the sound design. Top notch. Now, I already mentioned the opening scene is right up there, but there are a few other action set pieces throughout the film that will get you smiling, and it's backed up by the sound designs. The crackling of the gunfire, the noise of the explosions, the even the quieter scenes. There's a lot of atmosphere that's been created. It deserves some appreciation for that. Now, another part that really stood out for me, it ends up being a bit of a side quest for the soldiers. So they end up in the French village, and that's where the radio tower is. It's all under Nazi control, but the thing that really captured me was that these Nazis, they were using these villagers as tools, intimidating them, experimenting on them. And there's references to some brutality and I guess even some brutality towards women. It does not sugarcoat it, and I appreciated that. It doesn't sugarcoat any of this. And so the soldiers, they've got a decision to make. Do they focus on just getting the mission done for the sake of the world, I suppose, or do they have a moral obligation to help out this village and potentially jeopardize the mission overall? And what helps actually with their decision making is they meet a young woman from the village who does end up helping them. And her character, she sort of ties together a lot of the emotional elements of the film. So it's not all just action, horror, suspense, gore. It does take a breath. It gives you a few moments to just take things in. And through this side quest, the soldiers they discover the Nazis. They've got a secret lab that they're using to perform these grotesque experiments on the villagers and surrounding people. They're basically trying to create some kind of super soldier serum, but it ends up creating zombie-like monsters. And so the soldiers, the Americans, they got to come up with a plan that could potentially kill two birds with one stone, take out the tower, but in doing that, they might also be able to help destroy the lab and help the village out. Yeah, there are a few little, conveniences that go their way, and it's one of those films, that you got to let them have that. Now, now let's move further into the zombie part of the film. It's sprinkled here and there in the earlier parts, but towards the back end of the film, that's when it starts getting more prevalent. Firstly, the look of the zombies is great. Great effects. The visual effects are fantastic. The body horror, it's vivid, it's shocking. There's a fair amount of gore. This is, a pretty bloody film. But you're not given a whole bunch of exposition about, the origins of the origins of these, creations. It's just your, typical mad scientist doing crazy things, and you've also got the classic villain, who you're going to have a final boss fight with. It's just like that. And now when you get to the final act, it goes all out crazy. It really does. It's pure adrenaline, violent, gory, over the top. It starts to feel like a video game. It really does. It's us versus the Nazis versus the super zombie Nazis, and you're just, as one of the main characters, you're just trying to upgrade your weapon or figure out a special move or combo, take some special super serum yourself, whatever you need to do. And honestly, it dials up to 11. Look, as I mentioned earlier, Overlord, it's a hidden gem. It really is. It definitely, needed more attention when it came out. A combination of being a zombie film and a war film. I know it seems a little bit odd, and perhaps if they were separated, it would work. But I don't know, man. Like, I think it's a bit of fun. It's quite a blast to watch. Me personally, as I said before, I found the war aspects, the horrors of war, the suspense, the idea of a ragtag group of soldiers behind enemy lines, a lot more intriguing than the zombie aspects of the film. For me, I'm giving this a 7 out of 10. Like, it's a very good action horror war film. I'm going to say that again, war film above the horror. Thanks for listening, guys. You've been great. Till next time.